In the far western region of Xinjiang, China, an unprecedented campaign of repression is unfolding. The Chinese government has launched a systematic assault on the Uyghur people, an ethnic minority with a rich culture and deep roots in the region. This campaign is not just about forced detention and labor, but about the total erasure of identity, freedom, and dignity. Every aspect of daily life is monitored, controlled, and policed. Uyghurs are subjected to constant fear, knowing that at any moment they could be taken away for re-education or worse. The streets are lined with cameras, checkpoints, and police patrols, creating an atmosphere of relentless surveillance and intimidation. The US government and human rights organizations have called this campaign what it is: genocide. Over 1 million Uyghurs and other Muslim minorities are believed to be detained in sprawling high-security camps. These facilities are shrouded in secrecy, but satellite images and survivor testimonies reveal a grim reality: families torn apart, children separated from parents, and a population living in constant terror under a high-tech police state. The Chinese government's tool of choice for this repression? Artificial intelligence. Advanced AI systems track every move, every word, and even analyze the way people walk. Facial recognition, voice analysis, and predictive algorithms are deployed on a massive scale, turning entire cities into digital prisons. This technology doesn't just watch, it anticipates, profiles, and punishes, leaving no room for dissent or escape. This isn't the plot of a dystopian novel or a scene from science fiction. It's a digital cage, meticulously engineered for control and punishment. For millions, the line between public and private life has vanished, replaced by a constant, unblinking gaze that enforces obedience through fear. But here's the twist. Much of the technology powering this surveillance state can be traced back to research and innovation at some of America's most prestigious universities. Breakthroughs in artificial intelligence, computer vision, and data analysis, developed in open academic environments, have found their way into the hands of those building the machinery of oppression. A new investigative report reveals that elite U.S. institutions, perhaps unwittingly, have played a significant role in developing the very tools now used to surveil, control, and punish the Uyghur people. Collaborations, joint research projects, and the global exchange of knowledge have created a web of complicity that few anticipated. Tonight, we'll uncover the hidden connections, how America's brightest minds and most respected institutions became entangled in one of the gravest human rights crises of our time. We'll ask, what responsibility do they bear, and what can be done to prevent technology from becoming a tool of tyranny? Which universities are involved? The answer may surprise you. We're not talking about obscure institutions or fringe players. The spotlight falls on some of the most respected names in American higher education, places that have long been seen as the gold standard for academic excellence and innovation. The report names MIT, Stanford, Harvard, and Princeton, icons of American academia, whose reputations stretch across the globe. These universities are not just educational powerhouses, they are symbols of intellectual leadership and influence, shaping the minds of future leaders and innovators. Yet behind the scenes, these schools have co-authored thousands of research papers with Chinese labs tied to Beijing's security apparatus since 2020. The scale is staggering. This isn't a handful of isolated projects, but a vast network of academic collaboration that has quietly flourished over the past few years. This isn't a few rogue professors, it's a systemic pattern. Faculty, administrators, and entire departments have been involved, often with little oversight or awareness of the broader consequences. The collaborations focus on artificial intelligence, the backbone of China's surveillance state. AI is not just an academic pursuit, it's a tool that powers facial recognition, mass data collection, and the monitoring of millions of citizens. For these universities, academic prestige and the pursuit of open research often overshadowed the reality of who they were partnering with. The drive for global recognition and funding sometimes blinded them to the ethical implications of their choices. The result? Sensitive U.S. technology and expertise have flowed, sometimes unwittingly, to entities supporting China's military-industrial complex. What began as academic exchange has become a pipeline for innovation with real-world consequences. These institutions, meant to champion free thought and the open exchange of ideas, have instead, perhaps unintentionally, strengthened an authoritarian regime that uses technology to suppress dissent and control its population. It's a staggering ethical failure. The very places that teach ethics and responsibility have become entangled in a web of complicity, raising uncomfortable questions about the true cost of global collaboration. You can't champion diversity and human rights on campus while your research helps erase an entire ethnic group. The contradiction is impossible to ignore, and it's time for a reckoning. Who are these Chinese partners, quietly shaping the future of surveillance technology? Behind the scenes, a network of powerful institutions and scientists is working hand in hand with the Chinese state, building the digital infrastructure that underpins a new era of control. The report spotlights Zhejiang Lab and the Shanghai Artificial Intelligence Research Institute, two organizations that are not just state-backed, but deeply embedded within the machinery of government power. Their work is closely aligned with China's defense sector, and their research priorities are set by the needs of the state, not by the pursuit of open scientific inquiry. Both labs are linked to China Electronics Technology Group Corporation, or CETC, a massive, state-owned conglomerate sanctioned by the US for its central role in building Xinjiang's vast surveillance platform. CETC's technologies have enabled the mass monitoring, profiling, and control of millions of people, especially in regions like Xinjiang where repression is most severe. These labs are not innocent bystanders in the world of science and technology. They are architects of a system designed for social control. Their innovations are deployed in real time, powering facial recognition, predictive policing, and the tracking of entire populations. The research conducted here is unapologetically applied. It's not about abstract theories or academic curiosity. It's about building tools to monitor, analyze, and ultimately control the movements and behaviors of millions. When US universities collaborate with these institutions, they're not just sharing knowledge or advancing science. They're providing expertise, resources, and legitimacy to projects that help perfect the technologies of authoritarian rule. These partnerships can accelerate the development of surveillance systems that are then deployed against vulnerable populations. In China, these labs are celebrated as national champions, honored for their contributions to what the government calls social management. Their scientists are awarded, their achievements promoted in state media, and their work is held up as a model for the future of governance. The idea that these partnerships are purely academic is a dangerous illusion. The lines between research, surveillance, and state power are deliberately blurred, making it nearly impossible to separate innocent collaboration from complicity and repression. The science may be open, but the results flow straight into a closed, tightly controlled system, one that uses knowledge not to liberate, but to confine and monitor its own people. For years, our universities have been holding the door open, often unaware of what's coming through. The question now is, will we recognize the consequences before it's too late? What technologies are at stake? US universities and Chinese labs have co-developed AI for multi-object tracking, systems that follow thousands of people in public spaces. Gait recognition identifies individuals by how they walk, even if their faces are hidden. Infrared detection allows surveillance in the dark, tracking body heat and movement at night. Combined, these tools create a 24/7 surveillance net that's nearly impossible to evade. In Xinjiang, these aren't neutral technologies, they're instruments of oppression. Academic papers on pedestrian tracking sound harmless, but in the hands of a police state, they optimize repression. US expertise has helped refine these systems piece by piece. Our universities have contributed to building a digital cage. The consequences are devastating. Here's the gut punch. Some of this research was funded by US taxpayer dollars. Federal grants, meant to foster innovation, ended up supporting projects that benefited China's surveillance state. The academic funding system is opaque. No one checks if partners are tied to sanctioned entities. Universities, agencies, and professors all claim ignorance, but the result is the same. American money and expertise fueling repression. There's no system to flag risky partnerships. It's a masterclass in passing the buck, but the real cost is paid by the Uyghur people. Our resources are being weaponized against human rights. This is a failure of oversight with dire consequences. In China, the law is clear. All organizations must share data and technology with the state upon request. There's no academic independence. Research labs are extensions of the government. Any technology or data shared with a Chinese partner can be seized by the state. When a US professor collaborates with Zhejiang Lab, they're effectively handing their work to the Chinese government. The firewall between research and state security doesn't exist. The idea of safe ethical collaboration is a fantasy. Information flows one way, into China's systems of repression. Western institutions ignoring this reality are willfully blind. In China, the party always gets what it wants. Where are the AI ethics experts? Shockingly silent. Leading institutes at Oxford, MIT, and Berkeley have barely addressed China's weaponization of AI. Only 2 major ethics centers publicly condemned Beijing's practices during years of escalating repression. Why? Financial ties to China and corporate interests make speaking out risky. This silence sends a message: ethical principles have a price, and Beijing can pay it. The academic community's failure to speak up normalizes these unethical collaborations. When watchdogs stay quiet, horror becomes routine. Silence, in this case, is complicity. How do we fix this? The report offers clear steps. First, mandate human rights due diligence for all international research partnerships. No more blind trust. Universities must investigate partners for links to human rights abuses or state security. Create a blacklist of Chinese entities tied to surveillance and prohibit collaboration. Increase transparency. Require public disclosure of all foreign co-authorships and financial ties. Taxpayers deserve to know where their money goes. Policymakers should restrict federal funding for projects involving risky partners. This isn't about ending global science, it's about drawing a moral line. Academic responsibility must come before prestige. Today, we face the reality that America's top universities have helped build the architecture of a genocide. Through negligence and financial incentives, they've enabled technology used to oppress the Uyghur people. The normalization of these partnerships is a profound moral crisis. Universities are meant to defend human rights, not empower authoritarian regimes. The path forward is clear due diligence, transparency, and funding restrictions. This isn't an attack on academic freedom. It's a demand for responsibility. We must draw a bright line. Some partnerships are simply unacceptable. The world we build depends on the choices our brightest minds make. It's time for research with a conscience. Because ignorance is a choice, not an excuse.